Afternoon, Rusty Bob's YouTube channel subscribers and everyone else who finds this video. If you don't already subscribe to the channel, do that. If you don't like the video, that's fine, but if you do, do that. If you want to know when I'm posting videos, that bell thing or something like that, do that, and then I guess you'll find out. Fiddling on the race car here. The season's coming up in about a month and a half, so time to get her ready. Just let me flip the camera around and I'll bring you in on what I'm doing here. So you get a service cart so that you keep everything organized, and yes, it's off the floor, but it ends up looking like that. Anywho, the car's back all together, so we did head job on it, valve grind, everything's all tested up nice. Put this here mufflator on there. It's actually just a resonator, so it's straight through, 3-inch, but it really cuts that sharp high frequency out, which is nice. Made a new little mount here because I had to bring this whole thing up to fit that above the Nerf bar. So that's all done. I did end up adjustulating on that a little bit just because it was a bit tight to get in there, but now she's all good. So did the head gaskets. That cylinder exhaust valve was leaking, so that's all sorted now. Tested all the springs and they all came out like 75-80 pounds, which was all within spec. Not allowed to really do anything apart from that. We ended up putting a gauge here so we could see what our incoming fuel pressure was, and we were having some issues last year with filter, with pump, so now we can at least see that. Did upgrade to the high voltage and the red, so that's extra horsepower immediately. And then we're switching over from, there was a rod activating the throttle body, and so we're switched it to a cable, which is what it was originally in the car. A lot of these, this guy's tilted up, and then they've just got a sock on the top or a pod filter. But PD wanted to figure on putting her back as close to the car stock was possible, because maybe it's tuned that way. So flopped her back down horizontal like that. And then of course that bar, the rod that was supposed to work off the foot linkage here, was kind of the other way and running here, and it was kind of a little bit herky-jerky. So figured on putting a cable back in. So made a little mount here, a few different holes for adjusting if we need to, in and out, up and down and around, but that seems to be a good spot. Shortened up the cable, made a little bracketry here, and that's just kind of bent, like comes up and around like that, so that clamps it on. And then this was the original linkage, so when you push your foot pedal, here, I'll do it here, like that, then all of a sudden now that pulls on there all nice and smooth like. So we'll see how that goes. I may move this guy down so that it's not pulling up as much. That seems to be maybe where it's binding a little bit. Maybe I'll put a few holes in here so we can fiddle that around. And then just took a bolt, drilled a hole through it, and then this swivels on here because I got a little lock nut, jammy nut there. That seems to work pretty good. But yeah, we're buttoning her up. The only other thing I got to do is put the radiator back in, juice it up with some coolant, and then we can run it for a bit. I did fire it up and she sounds good. This old high voltage ignition coils here, compared to the stock deals, man, it sure gives a nice throttle response. So hopefully that makes a difference this year. This was a spring part of that other throttle linkage, so we'll see if we don't have to put that back on. But anyhow, that's what we're doing here, and then the rest of it will go together pretty quick. Only takes, you know, half an hour, 45 minutes to throw the axle in, bleed the front brakes, and put the wheels on, square it up, you know, that whole deal, kind of designed that way. We're gonna see if maybe we can move the seat back a little bit. There does seem to be a bit of a bit of room in there. As you probably noticed from the other videos, PD's like 1 billion feet tall, so the more space we can make in there, the better. Just a short little update on that. Just been fiddling on it over the past couple of weeks, getting her back ready to go, because as you can see, the weather is turning in a good direction, and daylight savings is next week, so then we're gonna have nice long evenings, and that means Speedway season's coming. So stay tuned, folks, and we'll keep bringing some videos. Some of them might be short ones like this, just a little quick jab update, but maybe we'll do a few longer ones in the next couple weeks here.